Scoodly doodly doo, it's time for another Welch review. Scoodly doodly doo doo.
Evening, gang! Welcome to another episode of the Welch Review. Today we are talking about the Owen Wilson vehicle Drillbit Taylor. And in this film, as stated, we have Owen Wilson as Drillbit Taylor. You might recognize him recently from Marry Me, Loki, or classic Jackie Chan action comedy Shanghai Noon and Shanghai Nights. David Dorfman as Emmett. He was in The Ring 2, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Alex Frost as Filkins was in the Gus Van Sant film Elephant, Calvin Marshall, and Flight 7500. Josh Peck as Ronnie from Drake and Josh, the new Turner and Hooch series on Disney Plus, and Mean Creek. Troy Gentle as Ryan, Good Luck Chuck, Nacho Libre, and the Goldbergs. Nate Hartley as Wade, Role Models, Movie 43, and Zeke and Luther. Danny McBride as Don, Eastbound and Down, Your Highness, and Pineapple Express. And Leslie Mann as Lisa from 17 Again, This Is 40, and Knocked Up. And Drillbit Taylor was written by Christopher Brown, who previously worked on The Tom Green Show, Blue Mountain State, and Super Ninjas. And Seth Rogen, who wrote Future Man, Preacher, and Sausage Party. And this is actually inspired, or comes from a story by John Hughes, who famously wrote and directed 16 Candles, The Breakfast Club, and Pretty in Pink. It's a movie, I guess, he didn't end up getting to make due to his untimely death. So it's really cool that they were able to, take this and spearhead it into what it is today, right? So a little piece of him still making movies, which is pretty awesome. And then this was directed by Stephen Brill. And Steve Brill previously had directed Heavyweights, Little Nicky, and Without a Paddle. Now, Drillbit Taylor is, at the sense of it, it's a movie about facing your fears, right? And standing up for yourself. That's the bottom line. Those are the themes throughout this. It's not just through the main character Drillbit, but also like the kids he's trying to protect. So, and therein lies our plot line, right? Drillbit Taylor, Owen Wilson, is an Army Ranger who went AWOL, and he is now homeless in California. And he's trying to get enough money so he can go north to Canada and kind of start a new life, right? So he's just trying to earn an exact dollar amount and get out of town, build a new world for himself. Now, at the same time, we have Emmett, Ryan, and Wade, who are incoming freshmen, and it's their first year of high school. And they are nervous because, they are considered nerds, which, I feel like the whole social structure of things has changed, right? It's cool to be into comic books. It's cool to be into, music. It's cool to be, everything is cool. I mean, it was always cool, but, now pop culture has taken a 180 where that is now the top hierarchy. So, anyhow, these fellas are bullied and constantly picked on day after day after day by this dude named Ronnie and Filkins. Filkins is the heavy, right? And Ronnie's just like his idiot counterpart. So they find, these three boys, and they decide they're just going to destroy them every day for always. So eventually they decide, we got to do something about that. So in the spirit of My Bodyguard, they decide that they're going to pay someone to protect them, or to put the beating on Filkins. And then they have a really funny montage of various people who they come in and interview. Especially when Adam Baldwin comes in, because he was in the film My Bodyguard, and that especially was good. You also had Chuck Liddell and a variety of other characters who I'm sure you'll recognize through it. And especially the guy who still works for Tupac, even though he's dead. That cracks me up every time. Or the guy who sticks his hand in the coffee. But, it's a great montage. So anyway, eventually, they're trying to find a bodyguard on a budget, right? Someone who they can actually afford. And eventually, Drillbit comes in and, he gets the job. It leads to the amount of money he will need to get out. and it should be easy work. Now, does he actually teach them things? That's questionable, right? Does he bond with them though over time? Absolutely, and he kind of develops feelings for them, because they have they've connected now, right? And he doesn't want them to have to endure any nonsense or pain or tribulation. So eventually his techniques, right, the holdback technique, evasive technique, right, sometimes they work, sometimes they get the kids punched in the head. So eventually he decides, I'm going to go to school with you. So he pretends to be a substitute teacher. Now, as he's a substitute teacher, he's able to have authority, right, within the school and be like, and kind of manage Filkins and Ronnie and what they can and can't do and make them the butt of jokes, which in turn elevates our three main characters and allows them to grow their social network amongst the school. So they actually get a high school experience, right? Now, while he's doing this, he also happens to fall in love with an English teacher played by Leslie Mann. Now, he's at this interesting crossroads, right? Because he has his agenda going to Canada. He has to look out for the kids, and now, she might want a future with him. So it's a smattering of three things. Now, as he's dealing with this, he has this other, his homeless buddy Don, who is a shady character, who plans on just kind of robbing these kids, right? Taking all of their money, and he doesn't necessarily have a plan for it. He just wants it, right? So you have Don, who's doing nefarious things behind the scenes, in which Drillbit has kind of opened that door for him, all while juggling these other three things: the bully, making sure the kids are okay, his love life, and now Don, right? So now he has four things he has to face, right? Whereas he had previously gone AWOL, right? So it's a matter of how is he going to solve each of these things, and do it the right way, right? Not give up, not run away. It's a matter of, how do you juggle life, right, and not run away from it. And that movie, it's a comedy, but when you peel it back a little bit, there is a lot of meaning there. So I think this is one of Owen Wilson's personal best films I've seen of him. It's nice to see him be able to go back and forth, both with, they say child actors aren't always the best, but I think Owen Wilson has a very nice way about talking with the kids and joking around with them. And it seems really genuine. I bet he had a really fun time joking with these dudes. But then also, flexing with, Leslie Mann, who's been in a ton of comedy films, and, oh God, I can't believe I'm Danny McBride, right? Who essentially has, in the in the late 2000s, I'd say 2008 onwards, him, Seth Rogen, that whole crew kind of revamped comedy films, right? So you're working one of the heavyweights of modern comedy, and Leslie Mann, who's been around for a while doing this stuff, right? So he's acting in a lot of very different ways, right? Both with kids and then with people who are exactly on his caliber. So I think Owen Wilson certainly does a great performance. I think the kids do a really good job, right? I think bullying is a very real problem that kids today in any grade deal with, and I think bringing that, to I know the news talks about it, but I think it's good that they're addressing this issue, in theaters and on DVD, right? It's something that needs to be talked about. I don't know how many people I'm sure have thought about, maybe I should just get a bodyguard. I'm sure that's an idea everyone's gone through, or everyone at some point, unfortunately, maybe has been made fun of or put down for no reason. So it's nice to see the bully gets his comeuppance in the end. And I'll leave it there with you, but this is a good journey. It's a good film. It's a feel-good film. I think there's a little bit of everything in this for everyone. And Owen Wilson shines in this. If there was an Academy Award for comedy, or if he wasn't nominated for a Golden Globe for this movie, he should have been, because he did a great job, and I would be interested in seeing him revisit this character. So I hope you check it out, and I hope you stay tuned for more videos. And until next time, this has been the Welch Review.